How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to Linear Bounded Phenogram. Well, I actually had to do a lot of prep work for this one today because I've decided I'm going to move on towards the end game content of this one. We're heading towards the finales, but interesting stuff. So I'll go into a lot more detail for the rap party to be sure, but the three stories that I skipped over was Mr. Braun, Suzuha, and Lukako. I will say this. While I'm kind of happy I've left some mystery, they were all better than I thought they were going to be. The Mr. Braun one was pretty much just a slice of amazing pie for me, especially because it focused a lot more on Mr. Braun, the father, and that's something I can really heavily relate with. And so I found it to be just a barrel of laughs and just a really good, solid, just kind of almost like slice of life comedy rather than like the normal depressing nature of these stories. The second, of course, being the second one I went to was Lukako's, which was depressing on steroids, but good. And the Suzuha one, which was wacky, but wholesome. And I'll say this about it, like one downside is that of the two stories that I've skipped over, only the Suzuha and Lukako stories so far are ones that we visit the Steinsgate Omega Worldline, whatever you want to call it. I'm calling it Omega Worldline now because of what the Suzuha story talked about, but you'll have to watch that for yourself and read about it, or wait till the rap party and I'll share my thoughts on it. Ultimately, though, they were great. And now we've unlocked this story. Now, it's interesting because it kind of doesn't look like the end, and I think someone mentioned way back when that there's supposed to be like another ending one. But I had to I've noticed a couple things about this one. The first one is that this one is Kyoma, where back here it was Okabe. So this one's Kyoma. It's 4.4, which we haven't seen anything of. Like I was seeing a lot of like threes. Oh wait, not any of those. Like what is this one? Yeah, the 3.3. But now, no, cancel. But this is 4.4, and the title is Abduction Across Three Worlds. What the fetch is this gonna be? I have no idea. So we better just jump into it, but I'm already I just buckle up the crazy train, because if we thought Suzuha's was going to be a little wild, I think this one's gonna take the cake, because it's Kyoma. Is it a world line where Kyoma's his actual name? Wouldn't that be that would be bananas on toast. Alright, let's start it. What am I getting myself into? Abduction Across Three Worlds. I have a kind of a sci-fi story I've been writing. I hope it doesn't end up being mirrored of what this is, because I've never played this before, but the title itself is freaking me out, because it sounds kind of similar to a concept I have worked on in my own thing. Alright, so we start with a time leap. Wibblies. The usual discomfort. The usual unpleasantness washes over me. I groan instinctively. I return the cell phone held tightly in my right hand back to my pocket and rub my temples with my left hand. Yes. And when? I kind of saw the date, but I wasn't paying a ton of attention, but it looks like this is the typical, try and save Mayuri storyline. I'm about to turn myself as I look around. Okay. Oh yeah, 13th. So no, this is like the same day, but just a few hours early. It's the lab. It's the lab, right? The usual scenery in the room with me. The usual. But what is the usual? How do I know such a thing? My memories are muddy and unclear. Everything seems so hazy, my thoughts elusive. Atop the table in the development room was the usual X68000, the old-looking CRT monitor. The monitor's powered off. I slowly move in front of it and peek into the depths of the black screen. I ask my face, reflecting off the mirror monitor. That doesn't sound good. Someone said. The person who said it was me, of course. But I can't shake this odd discomfort. The face that I see in the reflection doesn't feel like it's my own. I mean, it's my reflection. It's undoubtedly my own face. I understand it in my head, but for some reason... Could this be, like, I always wondered what would happen if you did time leap your memories into somebody else. I wonder if this is what that would be like. I asked once again to be sure. I received the following response.
違う。俺は岡部倫太郎ではない。
Okay. The voice flows out of my mouth naturally, as if someone is controlling me.
俺は俺のマナは
Okay.
不応院京馬だ。
I normally say that's normal, but considering the circumstances, this is seeming more of like, maybe his personality is fractured, and that's not good. My loud, maniacal laughter made a knot inside my chest swiftly melt away. The usual, dignified, velvet voice felt natural to my ears. Yes, as usual, nothing has changed. This is the Future Gadget Laboratory, aka the Lab, and I am Okabe Rentaro, aka Yoden Kyoma. Reality as usual, a theorem that needs no proof. Okay. I pulled my cell phone out of my pocket and put it to my right ear.
俺だ。機関から強烈な電磁波攻撃を受けたが、大丈夫。どうにかリフレクトした。なーに、大したことはない。アポカリプス・オブ・ガリアンの洗脳兵器に比べれば、どうってことないさ。心配するな。何も問題はない。ああ、わかった。Psy Kongroo.
I'm seeing Kyoma is a little thick right now. It might not be great. Really? Are there really no problems? I once again look around the room. It's strange. Why isn't anyone here? I pull out my cell phone again to check the date and time. Friday, August 13th. The time is 4 p.m. on the dot. I'm pretty sure Kurisu and Daro were here at the lab at this time. What about Mayuri? Where was Mayuri again? As I dug further into my memories, another strange sensation had consumed me. How did I not know that today is August 13th? Furthermore, how did I know that Kurisu and Daro were here at the lab at this time? I don't know something I should know, and I do know something I shouldn't. This contradiction, my discomfort, I'm starting to get a bad feeling. The inside of my head was still hazy, and my memories were unclear. Okay, this is weird.
大丈夫。大丈夫だ。何も問題はない。
You know it's bad when weird in steinsgate terms is like it's weird for steinsgate, which means it's super weird. Like weird on like freaking growth hormones. It's mutating beyond faster we can keep up. I reassure myself walking in front of the refrigerator. Grab a Dr. P. At times like this, the best thing to do is chug a drink for intellectuals. Doing so allows me to stimulate the gray matter cells in my brain, eventually making everything clear. I open the refrigerator door and pull out an ice-cold can of Dr. P. Ugh. Its fresh flavor pierces through the back of my nostrils as I let out a breath. I can't drink soda anymore, so I'll stick with my fruity water. Dr. P will never betray me. I betrayed it, though. I have to admit, Dr. P was my favorite drink of choice. Before the game. Like, I'm not just copying him, I literally love that stuff. And I will never betray Dr. P. I did. As fellow doctors, we may be rivals, but we have acknowledged each other's accomplishments and formed a true friendship. With these relatively useless thoughts filling my mind, I flop down on the couch. But when I do, something suddenly enters my vision. It was placed on the table in front of the couch.
なんだこれは?
What the... I understand that it's a sketchbook. You can also see what was drawn in the sketchbook, a character that might appear in an anime like Realnet Kakaru. Perhaps I should have asked, what is this doing here? As I skim through its pages, I see dozens of other illustrations. Each one must have been drawn by a different artist, as each character has their own distinctive touches.
こんなもの、ここにあったか?
The corner of my brain throbs painfully. I take another swig of Dr. P to drink away the pain. Moments later, my cell phone rang. the Dr. P in my left hand and dig down in my pocket with my right hand. Okay, I chain his snake, maybe? For Sheena, you know what? In DB locker. For Sheena, you know what? In the locker. Why would you take, if it's for Sheena, if it's for Mayuri, which it kind of implies, why would you go to the length, like type of you know what in such long term? Like, why? What a name of an email. Why go to that length? I don't get it. That's a weird choice to make when you have a character limit.
何なんだ何なんだこれは
Yeah. And it's from 16. So that's 3 minutes from now? What? How's that possible? Or right now? I know exactly what this is. This is clearly...
脅迫状
Ransom note.
がさらわれた誘拐されたんだ
Right. Just then. The entrance door opened. At first thinking an enemy had broken into my sanctum, I took a defensive stance but was mistaken. Returning home without a care in the world were...
ただいま
疲れた
Yeah, what happened?
お前たちどこに行ってたんだ
どこにって
買い出しだ買い出し
Finishing the time leap machine?
開発評議会という名の宴会やるんでしょ
Okay, right. We're still party night. This is still the gate crashing.
そのために僕とマキセ氏でお菓子とかを買いに
Oh, the sketchbook. Dollar suddenly screamed. Dollar tosses the shopping bags to either side of him and ran over to the table looking pale. Grabbing the sketchbook with both hands, his shoulders tremble. Uh-oh. What do we do?
これは一体
Dara opens the sketchbook and holds it out towards me. It was drenched in dark, dirty liquid that seems the liquid would start dripping out of it if you squeeze it. The Dr. P! Oh no! The liquid had been absorbed into the paper, making it shriveled and weak. Oh, that's actually really sad. It seemed like I accidentally dropped the can of Dr. P. I'm actually calling it out here. What the heck? Dr. Pepper on it when I looked at the message earlier, which caused the liquid inside to spill into the sketchbook.
僕らの大事なスケブが
スケブ
スケッチブックのことに決まってんだろちょっと
Aww.
終わった完全に終わった未来ガジェット研究所終了のお知らせ
Wait, whoa, what? That's drastic.
それってどういう
いちいち説明する必要ねえだろオカリンだって分かってるくせに
I was about to ask again, but I refrain. No matter. Indeed, that does not matter at all. Right, now what's more important?
なあダルスケッチブックのことは謝るだがその前に聞いてくれいや見てもらった方が早いなクリスティーナも
I open up my inbox and hand my cell phone to the two of them. Daru and Kudisu stand shoulder to shoulder and look into the tiny screen. Their faces gradually grow pale. Daru speaks, his eyes wide with horror.
これって
I think so.
マユリが誘拐されたってこと？
ああ、おそらく
大ビル前ロッカーって大ビル前のコインロッカーのことだよな
Right.
そこに 例のものを入れろ。そうすればマユリは返してやる。そういうことみたいね。
でも例のものって何ぞ？
Alright, I'm trying to see how this is all playing out.
わからん。
This is an interesting line for the rounders to take, but it makes a lot of sense.
わからんって、わからなかったらマユシは。
うるさい。だから今考えてるんだろうが。
犯人に心当たりは？
I do, but only one. The rounders. Now, wait, here's another thing though. Like, why would it come in the 3 parts like that unless it was a D-mail? Or unless a future version of him has sent it back to try and trigger this line of events for some reason, which is very odd. And if they are responsible, I can safely assume what you know what is. The IBN 5100. Wait, hold on. How do I know this? A grimace in my headache surges once again.
Okabe, もしかして何か知ってるの？
いや、何も。
I thought it better not to talk about my idea just yet. I couldn't be certain, and since my memories were still foggy, I didn't think I could adequately explain my rationale.
お前たちの方こそどうなんだ？送信者のアドレスにあった I chain his snake というアカウント名。この文字列に何か思い当たることは？
I chain his snake. That just sounds weird. The name registered to an account created to access a computer or computer network. One could typically find account names for email addresses before the @ symbol. For example, in the email address like ooh at triangle 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 triangle, the ooh would be the account name. Kurusu and Dar stand there with their arms crossed, their eyes wandering as they thought, but eventually they both shook their heads.
訳すると、私は彼の蛇を拘束するって意味になるけど。
Yeah.
それだけじゃ何もわかんねえし。
一つだけ手がかりらしきものがあるとすれば、これが D メールってことぐらいよね。
Exactly.
だってほら、36バイトのテキストが3分割されて送信されてるでしょ？
I signed my cell phone out of Kurusu's hand and checked the text message on the inbox again. Kushina, you know what? In DB Locker.
もしかして気づいてなかったとか？
バカを言うな。気づいていたに決まっているだろうが。
この緊急事態によくもそんな風に笑っていられるわね。
Precisely because it is an emergency. Oh, great. I squeezed my palms tightly so as to hide the trembling in my hands.
つまり脅迫メールは未来から送られてきたってこと？
Apparently.
らしいな。
どうしてどうやって犯人は未来のどこかでこのラボにある電話レンジを使ったって言うん？
Or someone else in the future has access to the same machine or a similar machine.
知らん。
ねえ、そもそもマユリはすでにさらわれた後なのかな？未来にとっての過去は現在にとっての未来である可能性もあるでしょ？
Right, so maybe we should call her.
日本語で OK。
Can I call her? Like, I'm yet to be able to... Oh my gosh, I might be able to. Oh, so it's not letting me as of yet. But this might be one of the first times it's let me access the address book, which makes me think that there might be something to this. Maybe it's a bit more like the original game than I realized. Ooh, intriguing.
だから脅迫状が D メールで送られてきたってことは、マユリはこれから誘拐されるのかもしれないってこと。
なるほど。ということは、
マユシに電話はかけてみたん？
Come on, do it now, 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 call. It won't let me.
まさかまだかけてないの？
仕方がないだろう。メールが届いたのはお前たちが帰ってくる直前のことだったんだぞ。
だったら今すぐかけなさいよ。ほら、早く。
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't I? Call, yes. Ooh.
ちょっと待って。何なのよ、この音。
That's not good. Her phone's here.
これって
And I
マヤ
totally
氏の
spilled on
携帯の
myself. Oh, man.
着信音だ。
Following the sound, we scour the office for its source. It doesn't take long to find it. When I removed a book cushion from the couch, there was Mayuri's cell phone. Mayuri's cell phone.
あのバカ！携帯を置いていったんだ。
Okay.
弱ったわ
Now,
ね
if I remember correctly from the first time, because it's sad I can remember this, but I'm pretty sure that she's with Lukako right now, getting ready for the party. Gotta call Lukako.
それじゃルカ氏のところにかけてみたら
I'm glad that I'm not the only one to think of it.
はい漆原です
Hey,
ルカ子、そこにマユリは。
ただいま電話に出ることができません
dang voicemail.
ピーッと鳴ったら伝言をどうぞ
That means the phone's off, though.
俺だ、今日もだ。マユリを探している。これを聞いたら大至急連絡をくれ。
Alright.
留守電
Fortunately. Silence descends. I can hear the sound of cicadas from somewhere. And a car? A motorcycle passed by outside the window. As the sound faded, Daughter spoke up. Okay, can I call anybody else real quick? Like, anybody? No.
なあ犯人に直接連絡してみるっていうのはどう I chain his snake アドレスは分かってるわけだしさ
だがメールを送ってきた I chain his snake は未来の I chain his snake なんだぞ。
Right, but they might have an account right now.
曲がったらしくて鬱陶しい。ひとまずいくつとでも呼んでおくか。
いくつ
Abbreviation.
各単語のイニシャルを取って ICHS いくつだ。
It also sounds like X, an unknown variable.
とにかく僕はメールを送ってみるべきだと思うけど
私も賛成よ。このままじゃ手がかりが足りなすぎるし
Exactly.
相手の出方を伺ってみるのも一つの手だと思うわ。
だがなんて送ればいい。
話がしたい。それだけで十分じゃない。
Maybe. And Daru also works some magic, right? Can't hackers do stuff with? I don't know.
マユリとか例のものとか余計な情報は与えずに。
I couldn't decide. Should I or should I not send the ICHS X a message? What if contacting them caused something to happen to Mayuri? Of course, we don't know if Mayuri has been kidnapped yet or whether she'll ever be kidnapped at all. But it's clear that something poses an imminent threat to Mayuri. I don't think this message is just a prank. For one thing, it's a D-mail. They sent it across time. It seems certain to me that something terrible has happened or is about to happen. But that also means that waiting around doing nothing won't guarantee Mayuri's safety either. Besides, the idea is that someone other than a lab mem sent the D-mail, something we've glossed over because of the immediate threat of the ransom note, is troubling as well. This is a dangerous situation that could have major impacts on the history of the world. We've got to find out who Itchus is, no matter what. Yeah, because if they can send a D-mail to us, they likely are changing our behavior. So who sent the D-mail is imperative, like whoever they are. We gotta know. So there was only one response I could give.
わかったよ。
Who are you? I want to talk. I wonder how long it's been since I sent the message. 5 minutes? 6? 7? There's still no reply. I watched the second hand of the clock on the wall tick the time away.
とにかくこのままじっとしてても仕方がないわ。動きましょう。
Yeah, I know, right? Kudishi spoke as if to dispel the heavy atmosphere that had overtaken the room.
私は柳林神社に行ってみるから、岡部はコインロッカーの方を頼むわ。犯人が姿を見せるかもしれないし。
Right.
例のものについてはどうする？
それが何なのかわからない以上、どうすることもできないでしょ。
手ぶらで行けと。
嫌なら菓子折りの一つでも持って行ったら？
That's actually kind of a good idea. I was like, I thought you just wanted candy.
僕は
橋田はここで待機。もしかしたら真由里が戻ってくるかもしれないから。
Plus, work on the computer.
オキドキ。
それじゃあ、何かあったら連絡して。
I'd be like,
私もするから。
try and see if there's any active accounts based on that name. Even if you can't access the accounts, like looking and seeing if somebody by that name has access to accounts like at channel, maybe that can get us a lead.
了解だ。
Upon my response, Kurisu left the lab. I thought of following her out, but I stopped right before I opened the door and turned around. There was something I had to confirm.
どうかしたん？
Yeah, what is going on? Lots, actually.
いや、ちょっとな。
And what is that, good sir? I deflect his question and move into the development room. I turn to the shelves to see a big, recognizable cardboard box. We have it. Oh no. Inside it was the IBM 5100.
あるのか、この世界線では。
I breathed a small sigh of relief. But if this is real, you know what? We're going to be in some real trouble. Anyway, there's no way I could let this fall into enemy hands. After returning the box to its proper place, I hurry out of the coin lockers to find in front of the Daibiru. It's been about an hour since I started my surveillance. I hid in the shadows, watching closely, but there was no sign of the itch. I've already received a call from Kurisu. Lukako was in fact at Yanabayashi Shrine. Apparently he couldn't pick up because he was in the bathroom, but that's not important. The problem is what Kurisu said after that.
真由里、来てないって。
I swallowed my saliva. As loath as I am to admit it, the fact that made the ransom note significantly more credible. Could Mayuri have been kidnapped on her way to Yanabayashi Shrine? Kurisu said that she'd checked the other place where Mayuri might go and hung up on the phone. My heartbeat accelerates. My stomach starts throbbing in pain. Just a moment later, Lukako called. Maki-san told me everything. I got your voicemail too. I'll help you look for Mayuri-chan. Lukako spoke with worry in his voice, which only made me feel more restless. After I had finished my conversation, I heard a cell phone ring. But it wasn't mine. It was Mayuri's. I guess I unconsciously put it back in my pocket after finding it at the lab. The caller ID displayed Luka-kun. Kurisu probably didn't mention that Mayuri had left her cell phone behind. That's why Lukako was calling. I didn't pick up. I thought it better to preserve the remaining battery. It's possible Mayuri's phone might receive a more critical party. I wanted to save the battery just in case. Afterwards, I tried calling Ferris, but she didn't know where Mayuri was either. I asked Daughter to check on Mei Queen Yan Yan, but his luck wasn't any better. When I called Mayuri's home, her mother picked up. She said Mayuri hadn't come home yet. I decided not to mention Mayuri's abduction to her so as not to scare her. I don't know, police maybe? All this has happened in the last hour. I take a bite of the sweet red bean filled upon in my hand. I washed it down with packaged milk to mitigate my stress. Another 5 minutes pass. But nobody looks like they might be the kidnapper arrives. I throw the rest of the bread in my mouth and down the remainder of the milk. All that remained in my hand were the wrapper of the bread and the empty pack of milk. In other words, trash. I looked around for a place to throw them away, but couldn't find a trash bin anywhere. Left with no other choice, I twist the bread wrapper and the milk packet together in a stick shape and stick the garbage stick into the pocket of my lab coat. But as I did, my fingertips were greeted with something unexpected. Paper. A piece of paper is in my pocket. I slowly pull it out. Oh my gosh! If they slipped a note in his pocket, that would be insane. It looked like an ad or something. An advertisement for rolled into quarters. What you'd call a flyer. On the flyer was written the following. 8th Regional Okabe Invention Contest. Grand prize, a whopping $3 million. Entry period, August 1st through 31st, 2010. Let your innovation build the future.
対象賞金300万
Just then, someone hit me in the shoulder from behind. Oh crap. As I jumped and turned around, standing there was...
クリスティーナ
ビビりすぎ。
Yeah.
ビビって飛びのいたわけではない。反撃の構えをしたまで。お前は気づかなかったかもしれないが、すでに3発俺はお前の鼻頭めがけて寸止めのパンチを繰り出している。命拾いしたな。
Yeah, sure.
で、いくつは？
聞いてるのか人の話。
その様子だとまだ誰も現れてないみたいね。
Mm-hmm. I nodded lightly, biting the inside of my cheek.
そもそもこんなところで張り込みを続けていても意味がないんじゃないか。
どうして？
イクスはこちらからの連絡を待って動くつもりなんだろう。例のものはロッカーに入れた。番号は何番だ。その情報を得てからじゃないとここにやってきても無駄足になってしまう。
You could fake it.
第一、鍵はどうする？鍵がかかっていたら手も足も出まい。おそらくイクスはいずれ何らかの形で鍵の受け渡し方法についても指示してくるはず。奴が動くのはきっとそれからだ。
じゃあしてみたら？
え？
連絡してみたらって言ってるの。もう一度いくつにメールを送るのよ。
Okay.
例のものはロッカーに入れた。番号は何番だってメールを。
嘘をつけと。
Kurushi nods. When suddenly the phone rang. Not mine, but Mayuri's. I pull it out to see one unread message from Lukako. I open it and read the following. Where are you, Mayuri? Everyone's worried, looking for you. Please answer. It was a message concerning Mayuri's safety. Perhaps you decided to send her a message after calling her so many times without an answer. It's certainly admirable. But no offense to Lukako, it's not going to help us get Mayuri back. Kurusu looks at my screen over my shoulder, also looks disappointed. I sigh and close the message from Lukako. And as I was about to put away Mayuri's cell phone...
待って！
Wait, what? Kurusu stops me.
今のメール、もう一度見せてもらえる？
Wait, what?
あ、メールじゃなくて、メールボックスの方、受信欄が見たいの。
Oh. I comply and open the message inbox. Oh my gosh. Sidekick 257 D-mail. There were 4 separate messages. At the very top was the message from Lukako that we just received. But what are the ones below it? The 3 messages all lined up. What the fetch?
D-mail.
That doesn't... But it doesn't make any sense. It's like... scrambled.
やっぱり。アドレス帳に登録されてない送信者のメールが3通並んでたから、もしかしたらと思ったんだけど。
意味は？
え？
この3通のメールに書かれている文章の意味だ。
そんなのわかるわけないでしょ。どう見たってデタラメな文字列だし。
文字化けしてるってことか。
もしくは暗号化されてるか。
That's about... I mean... But why would you send an encrypted message to somebody like that? Especially a D-mail. Encrypted. I get an unpleasant taste on the tip of my tongue. As if the milk I drank earlier had stuck to my mouth and gone sour.
送信者は何者？イクスとは別人なのかしら？
Yeah. Sidekick 257.
違うな。アカウント名もドメインもこっちは taboo.co.jp になってるから。
Taboo.com/jpeg. An English word that could refer to occupied land Worldline has been ruled over, and computer language is used to differentiate between different computers and networks that exist over a broader network. Domain name is the correct term. An email address, everything after the @ is the domain name. For example, in psychic257 at taboo.co.jpg, the taboo.co.jpg is the domain name.
PC から送られてきたメールってこと。
だと思う。
サイドキックって名前に心当たりは
I shake my head without a word. If she's asking me, then she probably isn't familiar with it either. Still.
一体何がどうなってるって言うんだ。どうしてラボ面でもない人間が立て続けに2通もの D メールを。
Yeah, this is very strange.
立て続けの順番は逆みたいだけどね。こっちの D メールの受信時刻は15時18分になってるでしょ。
Right.
一方、イクスから送られてきた D メールの方は
At 4:03.
16時3分だ。届いたのは。つまり2通の D メールが届いたタイミングはサイドキックの方が先でイクスの方が後ってことになるわけか。
Oh, well, no, you're talking about a time machine. Technically, when they sent it, we have no earthly idea. But they designated it to be received almost an hour before.
なあ。
If this is 4 degrees Celsius, I'm...
うるさい。ちょっと黙っててくれ。大事なところなんだ。
てめえ、殺されてえのか。
It's him. I can tell.
なんだと？
I put Mayuri's cell phone in my pocket and turn around. I knew it. There, a man stands shining in front of me, shining in front of me, as if Gaia had whispered his beautiful purpose to him on a wind. Him? Wait. I recognize this guy. I dig deep in my memories. As I stare at the man's face, squinting my eyes, a streak light descends upon me.
4度 C。貴様だったのか、いくつは？
The 4D?
はあ？
マイリはどこだ？どこにいる？
I grabbed the 4D's shoulder, roughly shaking his left and right back and forth.
お前、やめろか！離せって！
What is going on?
ちょっとどういうことなのよ、岡部。
Yeah, what the heck?
うるさい！お前は黙ってろ。
マユリなんて知らねえよ。
とぼけるな、4度 C。いや、いくつ？
イクスって誰だよ。それに 4°C でもねえし。
アイチェインヒズスネークはお前のアカウント。そうだろ。
Oh, I see.
誰か来て。この人おかしいです。
本当か？本当に知らないって言うのか？
だから知らねえって言ってんだろうか。
Uh-huh. A 4D violently knocked my hands away from him with that anything part. He creates a short distance between us. I lowered my line of sight and see that the 4D was holding something unsettling. Something like a crowbar. Oh, that's not good. In fact, it was a crowbar. Crowbar leads to get hit, leads to die. After this succession of thoughts pulse through my mind, I strike the wait, no need to be rash pose. Then I speak.
待て！早まるな！
なんだと？
お前は本当にメールのことは知らないんだな。
岡部。
なんだ？
イクスが送ってきたのは D メール。
Right.
この人が犯人であろうとなかろうと、未来に送信されるメールについて知ってるはずがないでしょ。
Maybe.
おい、何ごちゃごちゃ言ってんだ。
わかった。それでは一つだけ聞かせてくれ。いや、見せてくれ。お前の携帯を。
Right, like he's just gonna do that.
なんでだよ。
I thought for about 2 seconds, then I spoke.
ストリート C の最前線を突っ走っているお前のことだから、最高にクールな伊達割る携帯を持ってるんじゃないかと思ってな。
There's a lie, of course. But the 4D easily fell for my ruse, relaxing into a grin, handing over her cell phone. Jeez, really? His cell phone was a model. I didn't support the carrier that it was using.
信じても良さそうね。
I give him an honest apology.
すまなかった。人違いだったようだ。
人違いで済まされるかボケ。
まあまあ、抑えて抑えて。
時に呼んどしいよ。
シードだ。
Shida, huh?
なあ、そうだったな。数字の4に温度の度で指導。
なんでお前俺のこと知ってんだよ。
Right.
知ってるから知ってるんだ。知ってる理由は俺も知らん。
I know because I know.
それよりも指導、お前こんなところで何をしている？
それはこっちのセリフだ。お前かれこれ1時間以上ここにいるだろう。
Waiting for someone.
迷惑なんだよ。仕事の邪魔だ。とっとと失せろ。さもないと俺のヤバすぎる黒のオーラに巻き込まれることになるぜ。
仕事ってなんだ？まさかお前いくつに雇われて？
ちっげえよ。俺は誰にも雇われてなんかいない。
Okay.
伊達悪界の頂点に君臨するこの俺様は誰にも支配なんかってやべ。
Oh, what? That was sudden. 4 degrees Celsius, caught a glimpse of something over my shoulder and turned around and ran away. That's not good. That's not good. When I turned around, I saw a police car. I drove by slowly for a bit, then moved along as if nothing had happened.
あいつ、何者？
多分別の世界線であったんだろう。
Yeah.
どういうこと？
すまん。うまく説明できないんだ。記憶がはっきりとしなくてな。俺が今までどんな世界線を経験してきたのかもわからないし、ここがどんな世界線になっているのかも謎だ。
Interesting. He's becoming more aware, it seems like, but it genuinely is like he's suffering from like an amnesia or something. That's not good. Maybe too many time leaps?
逆に問いたい。ここは一体どんな世界線なんだ？鈴葉は知ってるか？天音鈴葉。
Right.
もちろん、ブラウン管工房でバイトしてた子でしょ？
Yeah.
してた。過去形だな。
だって何日か前に辞めちゃったじゃない。
That's a little early, because she's supposed to be there for the party.
ラジカンのタイム人工衛星は？
それとどんな関係があるのかわからないけど、突然消えちゃったわ。
Oh, that's in mine.
そうか。そうだよな。
A heavy weight presses down on my chest. The IBM 5100 was in the lab's development room. That would mean that it was just a guess, but when confronted with the reality in front of my eyes, my chest starts to hurt. Right. Maybe he ran away from this as like...
秋葉は燃えているか？
Maybe this is a Worldline where Okabe was overwhelmed with the choice between Kurisu or Mayuri, the Alpha or the Beta Worldline, and he just ran away.
は？
あ、いや、答える必要はない。
Right.
ここに来るまでの間にすでに見てきた。
Okay.
街には萌え系のショップが溢れていた。
Yeah.
アニメイトも虎の穴もマンダラケもゲーマーズもラムタラもメロンブックスも遊びットシティも存在していた。
That means that we're in a world line where Ferris's father... Right. Okay.
だから何？
ルカ子は男か？
It's necessary. I ignore her question to ask my own.
そう聞いたけど、やっぱり違うの？
It has to be false, right? Sorry. I think I'm kind of like I'm thinking, and I tend to fiddle with my hands, and I have a what do you call it? I don't even know. I keep thinking toothpick or tongue depressor. It's like between those two. What is it? Popsicle stick. That's it. My brain is just not okay.
Oh,
it should be a guy anyway. That line's a little blurrier than it used to be.
そうでなければ、前売りの携帯のアドレス帳にルカ君と登録されているはずがないからな。
Right.
もしもあいつが女なら、登録名はルカちゃんでないとおかしい。
わかった。わかったわ。
Come on, Kirisu. I know this has been kind of like hot and fast at you, but you gotta keep up. Kirisu responded, looking fed up.
今あんたが話したこと、99% は理解できなかったけど、残りの 1% については分かった。
Right.
とにかく、例のリーディングしたいなとかいうやつが発動したのね。あんたは別の世界線のどこかで D メールを送り、その結果、この世界線へと移動してきたと。
違うんだよ、クリスティーナ。ことはそんなに単純なものではない。
It's not that simple.
と言っても、気づいたのはついさっきのことだが。
I lightly pushed up the bridge of my glasses I'm not wearing and continue. You see, I know these things.
よく聞け、女子よ。俺はおそらくタイムリープしてきたんだ。
A moment of silence. Kirisu froze like villager A under the petrification spell, but she eventually let out a breath and spoke.
嘘ではない。
冗談でしょ。
No.
冗談でもない。俺はこの世界線上の未来から16時ちょっと前へと時間を遡ってきたんだ。
タイムリープマシンを使ったっていうの？
Yes.
そうだ。
どうして？実験はしないって言ったじゃない。
理由はわからん。覚えてないんだ。
その割にはさっきの話、よどみなく喋ってたわよね。別の世界線での出来事については覚えてるみたいな口ぶりだった。
Right. Yeah, there's something else going on.
ああ、そうだな。だが、この世界線のことについては何もわからないんだよ。
I pulled out the flyer from earlier and held it up in front of Kurisu's eyes.
このチラシは何だ？秋葉発明コンテスト。俺はこんなものをポケットに入れた覚えはないぞ。スケッチブックの件についてもそうだ。我が神聖なる未来ガジェット研究所にあんなものは存在しなかったはず。
Right.
それからマユリのことも、マユリがさらわれるなんて歴史についても、俺は
I kinda do, but that was a different one.
俺は何も知らないんだ。
As I finish my frustrated rant, Kurisu lowers her eyes and looks away sadly. An advertisement truck for a net cafe passed by, bringing in its annoying message, blaring its annoying message at us. Even after it had passed, things never really went silent. The bustle of the city bounced around in between the buildings.
失敗したんだ。
Failed?
記憶データの転送ミス。コピー&ペーストに失敗したのよ。
Uh-oh.
もしかしたら岡部の仮説が正しかったのかもしれない。過去へ転送したデータが何らかのミスによってフラクタル構造化してしまう可能性もある。そう言ったでしょ？
Right.
それで俺は記憶喪失。
わからないけど、可能性の一つとしては考えられないこともないわ。
Well, crap.
いずれにせよ確かなことが一つだけある。タイムリープマシンは欠陥品だったってこと。
You know, I never even considered, like, what if you accidentally leapt into a version of, like, history where the machine just didn't work right? Then you're screwed.
いや、そんなはずはない。別の世界線では正常に機能していたんだ。
じゃあこの世界線での私がミスったんでしょ。何らかの重大なバグを取りこぼしてしまったのよ。
I look up to see a crimson sky. The night was slowly creeping toward us from the east.
ねえ岡部、もう一度だけ聞くけど、本当にタイムリープする前のことは覚えてないの？
I nodded.
それってなんていうかちょっと
Yeah.
まずいんじゃない？
It's kind of unfortunately defeats the point of time leaping.
どういうことだ？
さっきも言ったけど、岡部はタイムリープマシーンの実験はしないって宣言したわよね。にもかかわらず、あんたはマシーンを使って16時ちょっと前へと飛んできた。ってことは、タイムリープする直前に何か深刻な事態が発生したと考えられるわ。
And if we remember correctly, we got the emails.
きっとそのせいで、マシーンを使わざるを得ない状況に追い込まれたのよ。
Right. My flesh crawls at her words. I felt every sweat gland on my body open up.
しつこいようだけど、もう一度思い出してみて。タイムリープする前に何があったのか、つまりこれから何が起こるのか。
Come on, Okabe, come on.
どうしてもダメなら、まずは取っかかりとして今この時刻に何をしてたか、そこから順を追って辿ってみるのも一つの手よ。
Come on. I look at my watch at 6:13. What was I doing at this time?
そうだクリスティーナ、俺はお前と買い出しに出かけたんだ。
買い出しって何の？
開発評議会のだ。
Yeah, the party. I had decided not to use the time leap machine, but we still wanted to celebrate finishing it, so we decided to throw a party and call it the Development Summit.
おかしい。だって買い出しだったらさっき私と橋田が。
ああ、そうだな。この世界線ではそういうことになっているようだ。しかし俺が知っている世界線では買い出しに行くのは俺とお前の2人なんだ。
で、それから何があったの？その世界線では。
買い出しを終えてラボに戻ると、3枚の宅配ピザがテーブルの上に積み重なっていた。
Mm-hmm.
3枚も？誰が食べるのよ。
愚問だな。
A silly question.
橋田がほとんど平らげたのね。
その通り。ピザを頼んだのは誰だ？俺とお前が買い出しに行っている間に注文を。
その後は？
その後は
Yeah.
その後は
Yeah, come on. During the party, we had left the TV on and heard an emergency news report. Oh no.
え？
まずい。まずいぞ。
なんなの
Come
よ。
on, come on.
何があったっていうの？
A memory buried deep below the others. A scar that I thought I'd already healed resurrects vividly, as if gouging its way out of me. There we go. No, wait, don't panic, just calm down. That was from another Worldline, right? This didn't happen here, but we have to sketchbook in the lab, and I'm carrying a flyer for an invention contest. While I managed to convince my head, I couldn't calm down my trembling in my chest. My heart is beating like crazy. Vicious sweat pours from my body. Or viscous. What do I do? I need to do whatever it takes to keep Mayuri safe. Then there's only one thing to do. D-mail. I quickly take out my cell phone and call Daru.
誰？俺だ。
オカリン、マユシは
まだ見つかっていない。だが見つける方法が一つだけある。
Yeah?
それは
D メールだ。D メールを使う。
ちょっと岡部！
うるさい、黙ってろ。誰？大至急電話レンジカッコ仮の準備を。
オッケー。転送先と時間は
Yeah, yeah.
転送先は俺の携帯。時間はマユリが確実にラボにいたのはいつだ？
15時16分。さっき携帯の発信履歴を確かめたから間違いないよ。
Okay.
どういうことだ？
That's weird because the D-mail that we just got that was a bunch of garbly was sent at 3:18, 2 minutes after that deadline.
思い出したんだ。マキセ氏と買い物してる時に一度マユ氏に電話をかけたこと。どのお菓子にするかでマキセ氏と揉めちゃって、それでマユ氏に決めてもらおうと。
その時は確かにラボにいたんだな。
うん。まだルカ氏のところに行かないんって聞いたら、もうちょっとしたら出るって。
Okay.
わかった。ではその時間に D メールを送ってくれ。計算は任せる。
了解。魔改造しといてよかったわ。
Yeah, exactly. Magic mod? What's he talking about? I asked, but I received no response. Dario had already let go of the cell phone and seems like he's making preparations. Whatever, I know what I need to do. I have to write an email. I decided to borrow Mayuri's cell phone since mine was occupied with the call to Dario. Phone wave channel. The recipient is, of course, the phone wave name should change. This is my message. Keep Mayuri in to stop kidnapping.
ねえ岡部、もう少し冷静になって考えた方が。
俺は冷静だ。
そうは見えないけど。
No, he's crazy. The utmost priority right now is to secure Mayuri's safety. We still haven't determined that she's been kidnapped, but at this point, the facts don't matter. As long as I send this email, Mayuri will.
オカリン、準備できた？
よし、電話レンジカッコ仮起動。
I hear the spattering sound of sparks from the phone.
放電現象来た！
Yeah.
了解。
I take Mayuri's cell phone and I press send. There we go. Well, that didn't seem to change much. Why the heck are we here? But we're going to have to figure that out next week. Okay. What the fetch? This is insanity. But I'm loving it. So yeah, let's see. What have we learned so far? Well, we haven't really learned anything, but we know now that we are going to be seeing some good changes in the future. We're seeing that we're trying to save. We're going in the same circle that we were in the main game, but obviously approaching it from differences because there are things like the device you said they attached. I wonder if that could be the cause of some of the problems. It sounds like it might be like a calculator or something, a predictor. We'll have to find out. But yeah. There's a lot of interesting tiny shifts that we're seeing here that are a lot more divergent than most of the things we ended up seeing in the main game. So I'm curious to see what the game's like sourcing for all of that is, but we'll have to find out next time. So thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. As always, it's a pleasure having you here. And real quick, just because like it's kind of crappy how the world's been lately, but I'm hoping that we will see an upturn soon, that things will going to get better soon, and I believe it. And part of that belief is understanding that I am planning a trip to Japan when everything settles down again. When will it be exactly? No idea. But I might as well just start taking hints and forming some ideas, especially considering if this is going to be a trip that's for me personally, I do think I want to make some content about the channel. So that means I want to make sure that like a personal trip for me, I probably want to do some of the typical stuff like go to Tokyo. I'd love to go visit Akihabara. I'd love to go visit crap, I can't think of the name now. It's in Muv-Love. Where do they have it in Muv-Love? What is that? I should know that, but it's not. It's like it's just not coming to me right now. I think I need more sleep. But yeah, I want to go to visit some of the places from the visual novels, and like because I know a lot of this is based on real places. It'd be really fun to document like visiting there. So if you have any suggestions about visiting Japan in the future, I've actually opened up a little just comment place on the Discord channel where you can just pop in your thoughts about doing a trip in Japan, especially for a first time like me. Any advice you want to give, I'd love to hear. And again, this is more of just like it's fun to think about the future like, it's always, there's a lot going on right now, and so it's nice to think that someday things are going to be better, right? Because they will be. And, you know, that trip's going to happen someday. And so if you have any thoughts on that, I'd love to hear them. And also, if you just have anything to say in the comments, feel free to do so. But yeah, we'll get to that later. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. It's always a pleasure having you here. And until next video, watching me, I hope to see me in next. I'll see you there.